seat, light it up, let's unwind. Kevin and Kerr bringing topics of all kinds, from cigars to sports, family and more. Everyday stories you'll want to explore. So take a puff or ponder away. Join the talk, it's the highlight of your day. Puff and ponder where the sparks ignite. Conversations blazing day or night. Tune in now, let the stories take flight. It's the Puff and Ponder podcast, where we get it right. From fast cars to last night's game, family laughs or today's big name. We've got the topics, we've got the vibe. Stay tuned in and enjoy the ride. So lean back, relax, take a break. Kevin and Kerr got the chat you'll appreciate. Puff and Ponder, the show that's great, where conversations ignite. Don't hesitate.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Puff and Ponder podcast, where conversations ignite. We're not sure where our guest Art Garcia is, or whether he'll be joining us tonight, but we'll make it a great show either way, as we always do. I'm Kevin Shahan, your host. Kerr Viajante, co-host. Kerry, how are you doing tonight?
Doing too bad, Kevin. How are you doing?
Doing good. Good.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's. I need to share my screen and give something away.
All right.
It's we're giving away let's see, a 5-pack on Instagram. Follow Cigar Prop on Instagram, and nobody gives away more stuff than we do. So we got 72 people that entered, and I'll let everybody know here in a second. Redbeard CE. So from Racy's Cubana, it's their tasting pack. We've got I think it's next Monday night is we have on the I believe it's the national sales manager for them. Okay. So it's good. We'll know a little bit more.
I'm looking forward to it because I have been digging on their cigars.
I have
not had a bad one since Jennifer started smoking them a while back. We found them in a humidor. We got one, I think it was in one of our clubs. I can't remember, Jen, where you first got introduced to Racy's Cubana. Was it Smoke and Brew? We stopped at Smoke and Brew and got one. And then from there, whenever we found one, Jen would be like, I want one of these. Like, she was just gobbling them up. And then it came into one of the cigar of the month club with Smoke In. And I've been kind of smoking them as well. And god dang, just a great cigars.
Yeah, I found out about them. What's going on, Chris? Abe had mentioned, like, on KMA Talk Radio, after the PCA last year, he only brought in 2 new brands to smoke in. And I can't remember what the first brand was, but the second one was Racy's Cubana. And I'm like, wow, that says a lot. If Honest Abe is bringing them in to smoke in. Now, a lot of people don't know, and we'll talk about it more next week, but Racy's Cubana is like Aganorsa. For years and years and years, they made everybody else's cigars, and now they're making their own. And
I was familiar with them back in the day. I was, but yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, Abe brought them in. I mean, that's definitely got a impact or his with his palate when he thinks is going to move. But god dang, just great cigars.
Yeah, absolutely great. Speaking of cigar, what are you smoking tonight?
I don't know yet. We actually did a Secret Santa with the Wolfpack Club. So yeah. So we got our Secret Santa in here. We got received it from Michael at K1. I don't know how to K1 got.
Well, it's not a Secret Santa if you know who got it for you.
Well, you know what I mean. You don't know who you're getting it from. It's that would be called an anonymous Santa. This is Secret Santa. Because Secret Santa, you eventually find out who is who's going to get it. So you're going to get it from. So mine came with the Bone Shaker. It came with breakfast in Paraguay, Portugal. Sorry, one of those. Paraguay. I don't know where the fuck Paraguay came from. Which one's that? Oh, whatever. Yeah, I got Paraguay on the brain. The Tio Jose, which is by Climb Cigars. The Empress of Cuba, the Sancho Panza, and then the MTS. So I think I'm gonna have, since I butchered the name and I do apologize, I think I'm gonna have breakfast in Portugal, not Paraguay.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna smoke that tonight. What about yourself, Kev?
Yeah, I'm smoking an Espinosa Laranja or Laranja.
Oh,
From I picked this one up. I got this from Richie Riot or Richie Otero. Was at the Espinosa booth yesterday. But going back to the Secret Santa, I belong. I do the Cigar Craig Secret Santa every year, and last year he got stiffed by his Secret Santa, so that he did not invite that person back this year. I think I got stiffed.
Really?
I think I got stiffed a couple of years ago, but everybody always and it's a secret. But everybody always knows when Cigar Prop sends you your Secret Santa because I loaded up with Cigar Prop stuff. So everybody, and then our buddy.
I wonder who sent me this Cigar Prop sticker.
Yeah, I know. Craig the Bread Man, Craig Gilpin is who I got this year. So Craig got the Craig the Bread Man got the hook up.
Oh, fucking Vanderslice. Thanks for the invite, Craig. Cigar Craig.
Yeah.
I'd have been more than happy to join a Secret Santa, but I won't stiff anybody.
Yeah. And then I think last year Jessica did it because there was an odd person. So he's like, "Hey, can Jessica do it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can send out two." So, but yeah. So the Espinosa I got from yesterday at the Ybor City Cigar Heritage Festival. I posted it on Instagram beforehand, and Richie and the guys at Espinosa are so gracious and kind. My neighbor Ed showed up after the Tampa Gun Show. We were talking to him all about Fratello, and he asked about the Espinosa, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I smoke Espinosa all the time." And I go, they didn't have anybody there. I'm like, "Hey Richie, my neighbor Ed, give him the deets, on all Espinosa." So he talked to him for a little bit, then gave him two cigars, and like Ed reached in his wallet and it's like, no, those are for you. And Ed's like, "I don't think so." Go hand him the cigars back. You can keep these if you're not charging me. Ed does not like free stuff at all. I'm like, "Ed, take the cigars. Richie's my boy. Take the cigars." So So shout out to Richie Riot. Great dude.
Well, I am.
What's going on, Bones?
Hey, Bones, what's going on, buddy? I am interested in hearing about the Cigar Fest.
It was
we got a lot to unpack over the last couple of days, including the football over the weekend. The college.
No, we can skim that over 1 week. No,
But, I bet you could.
All right, we'll get into that shortly. We'll start off with the festival. So it was a good day for the Cigar Prop influencer team of me and Jessica. And I say that, so Saturday, Omar reaches out to me. I don't have anybody to Omar DeFrias from Fratello Cigars. I don't have anybody to work my booth with me. Well, first he said, "Hey, are you and Jessica going to be at the event tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You guys got a booth?" I'm like, "No, we'll just be there hanging out, greeting people." And then he comes back with, "I don't have anybody. Do you know anybody?" Well, I didn't know in the back of his mind. He told me later. He goes, "Please let Jessica do it. Please let Jessica do it. Please." I'm like, let me ask around. So I messaged a few people, and then I messaged Jessica, and she's like, "Did you already volunteer me?" And I go, "I did not. I don't do that anymore very often." So she come back and she's like, "Omar always takes care of us. I'll do it." And I'm like, "All right, I'll help as well." So message Omar. Jessica's in. She'll do it. So all day long, just everybody coming up, talking with Jessica and I, hugs, kisses, selfies, and almost all those people buying Fratello at the same time. So that, like, hey, see, it pays to work it pays to work with us. We bring in the people, bring in the sales. But earlier that day, we'd met a guy that owns a lounge, follows me on Instagram, all the socials, and he says, "Hey, a couple guys came into the lounge last night, and they're the guys from Fogbox." And he's like, "Hey, we have this product Fogbox," and he goes, "I know all about you. I watched Kevin from Cigar Prop always shouting you guys out." And
Nice.
he's like, and then they're like, "Oh," so he buys them. Buys the boxes, the lighters, everything, sells out of everything he bought in just a couple of hours.
Wow.
And had to place a reorder. So that was a good for me, because they take care of us on the show here.
Yeah.
So it's good that at least they got the ROI on that. So
yeah.
and then we're gonna work together. We're gonna do a Cigar Prop branded fog box.
No, very nice.
So it's going to be a steampunk theme, hydro dip, and then it'll have the sticker on top that says "Fog Box" by Cigar Prop.
Oh,
so
very good.
So before we move any further, since we're already talking about our partners over at Fogbox, if you're unaware of Fogbox, let's talk a little bit about Fogbox.
Let's be real. Most travel cigar cases look the same. Black, boring, forgettable. But Fogbox, they're doing it different. Every Fogbox travel case and lighter features custom hydro dip graphics, from bold patterns to badass designs that pop. These aren't just tools, they're statements. Whether you're at a lounge, a campsite, or on the beach, Fogbox gear stands out while keeping your cigars protected and fresh. Plus, the quality is rock solid. Airtight, rugged, and built to handle wherever you take it. If you're still carrying around the same black, plain cigar case everyone else has, it's time for an upgrade. Visit fogbox.com and grab something as unique as your cigar taste. That's fogbox.com. Built to travel, designed to stand out.
So
we love ours. We got the Gambler.
Yeah, everybody was and they're going to start expanding into custom for like manufacturers. It's a little, hydro dipping is a little different. So it's not like you could have like an Espinosa and you couldn't guarantee like that's going to be like centered. And obviously because you can see the fog box. So it really has to be like randomized patterns that can be that repeat over and over again. So, but if you did you could do all Espinosa bands.
Yeah.
Or all Fratello bands or whoever bands, and they would be all over the place. So you could do that. So, super cool.
Yeah. We love ours. We actually we used ours over the holiday. We were traveling over to my sister's house. Threw our cigars of the day into our Fogbox Gambler humidor, and man, it's very durable. Like you said, it's one of those things where if you don't have to worry about anything, if it's falling, not getting knocked over, anything falling on top of it. Very, very rugged.
Yeah, I've been putting it through the test because I've only had a few hydro dip things in the past, and they've always been really durable. But I'm pretty hard on my cigar cases, and I'm like, oh man, I'm just wondering if this will get nicked up. And man, like you said, they are fucking rock solid. And they're all hydro dipped here in the U.S. Obviously, the cases come from overseas. But they are finished actually here in the US. So I found that out. So super, super cool. But yeah, it was a rainy day. That's what about halfway through, the monsoon came and just kind of put a kibosh on
really
everything, and it just sucked.
So outside of you and Jessica working the booth at Fratello for Omar's Fratello cigars, what was a highlight of the event?
The highlight of the event is any event that we do is just getting to meet the people that we've never met before that follow us on social media, and all they want is a picture, and that is, just to see like these people, like the happiest people in the world. And then luckily at that event, like a lot of them got a picture with all three of us, and like, oh my god, it's Kevin, Jessica, and Omar, in there as well. But just to see these smiles on these people's faces, or these husbands that bring the wives in. Hey, this is, this is Kevin and Jessica from Cigar Prop. I follow them, and it's just so, it's so exciting. And that's, like I said, every event we do, that's always the highlight, is all the pictures, and then getting caught up with all of our friends that that we've made these relationships with over the years.
Yeah.
So it's so fun. And then meeting new usually it's meeting new vendors and new cigar company owners. But
anybody know that you that stands out?
I honestly I didn't get a chance to get around. I was only able to get away for a few minutes here and there, between the rain, and see a couple of the people that I knew. Brandon at Big Sky flew in. I never got a chance to get over, and never got a chance to see him. So yeah, it kind of sucked. Had dinner with Dave Lafferty and Steve Saka the night before at our buddy's barbecue place. So got to hang out with them for a little bit. You had a great story about him climbing the volcano Mombacho in where is that at? That's in Granada. Steve Saka. Oh, what a great story that was. I'll have to have him tell that story on a show one day. And but yeah, it was a good event. And I was over talking to Jeremy Fondy of Casa 1910, and I went over and talked to him for a little bit. And then my buddy Ryan Gallimore was over there, and Ryan owns Cigar Circus. It's a lounge, but they also do a huge wholesale business. And Jeremy had pointed to a booth that was right next to him, just a few feet away. He's like, "Hey, you need to go talk to those guys." And Ryan's like, "What's up with those guys?" He goes, "No idea. Never heard from the company. Never heard about the company. Don't know anything about them." And Jeremy knows every company. Mm-hmm. And he goes, "But they had a fucking line backed up all day long." And he goes, "There's something's going on with this company." Because huge line of people. So I'm like, and by the time I got over there, they were already packing up. So
who was it?
Let's hope. I still don't know. Still have no idea who it was.
That story, you take me all the way down the path, and then you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, still have no idea. So it was fun. The one thing I did notice, and I was hoping Art would be on, kind of talk to him about this and get his point as a manufacturer. Maybe if he hops on later, we'll talk about it. But the few times I did get around to other booths, and then even witnessing it with Omar, is people need to understand that there's a business going on. So you need to be cognizant of everything around you at every time. When I'm at someone else's booth and I'm talking with a friend of mine, a manufacturer, a principal, if someone comes up, I stop talking.
Yeah.
Business needs to be made.
That's called common sense. So a lot of people fucking don't have that.
And I know people get excited. It's like, oh my God, it's Omar. It's Richie. It's Steve Saka. But some people just need to be a little more cognizant of their sales that need to be going on. If someone walks up and then I say, or Jessica says, "Hey, welcome. Are you familiar with Fratello cigars?" And that's usually when, we'll pass them to Omar. But if someone's talking to him, it's just like you could tell the look on his face. It's like I don't want to say, stop the conversation, but
that's common sense. So, and I don't care how excited you are to meet someone. You have to understand and have a little bit of awareness when things like that are going on. I think a lot of that is missed.
Yeah,
and caught up in the moment with themselves.
And at one point, I was hoping Jessica would run with it, because Omar had to go somewhere, go to the bathroom or something, and someone came up. I'm like, "Are you familiar with Fratello Cigars?" And he's like, "I am not." I'm like, "Well, this is Jessica. She's the owner of Fratello Cigars." And she's like, "No, I'm not." And I'm like, "You could have ran with that. Could have ran." I thought about introducing her as an astronaut. But
this is Jessica. Have you ever heard of the Space Shuttle Columbia? Yeah, she's on that one.
Yeah, So and then I got to go in our good friend Mike, shirtless Mike Holmes. Stop by the booth, and hopefully we can get Omar in. Shirtless Mike Holmes. That's right. That's his full. That's his government name. So, but I was telling him, because he runs Smoke Ring 72 on Merritt Island, which is only 5 minutes from Kennedy Space Center. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "Hey, Mike, Fratello, Omar used to work for NASA. He's got the navetta, which is Italian for shuttle. It's all the boxes, it's like the tiles from the shuttle. I go, man, that's like a given for because Mike gets a lot of SpaceX and a lot of the Blue Origin people that coming in and smoking, because he's the only like big cigar lounge around. I'm like, tell me they wouldn't love this cigar. A history of the shuttle developed by someone that used to work at NASA. You guys couldn't keep these in stock.
Yeah.
So hopefully we got an in with there. So, our job is done there. So,
Nice.
So,
well,
but
sounds like a fun-filled pack as long as you could with the rain. I was thinking about you because I was watching football, and I was watching Buffalo Bills and the Bengals playing in a fucking snowstorm, and I was switching back and forth, and I was watching Tampa Bay playing in a monsoon.
Oh, I didn't know Tampa was playing in town. So it was the first real big rain of our area in a while. We don't get rain in December. It's rare. So it was definitely a monsoon. Everybody was wet.
Yeah, man.
So,
well, I'm glad it was fun and it's. I was happy to hear that you were able to hang out and help out Omar at his booth.
Yeah, it was fun, and we still got to meet. We probably met more people than we normally would have, because when we're walking around, usually people will stop us, and say hi. But now, we're in a fixed spot, so with everybody walking around, we were probably able to say hi to a lot more people than we normally could have, And then our car got
let them come to you,
as it should be, and then our car got towed. So that was cool.
How does that? I mean, I remember when we were there the last time, and that was the big concern. So what happened?
So I pulled into the spot. I have the Park mobile app, open up my app, give them like the 6-digit code, put it in. I got 12 hours of parking, 18 hours of parking. It's a whole day. And then we'll go to walk away, and I'm like, oh my God, I put in the wrong car. I put in my car, and we were in Jessica's because mine was at the dealership. So I go on the app, I can't change the car, and then I can't cancel it. And then with that, I'm like, oh, I'll just pay another $18.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't let me buy another day. So what I did is I took out two big pieces of paper, 8.5 by 11. And I wrote exactly what was on there. I said, hey, my license plate number it's assigned to this spot. I accidentally chose the wrong vehicle in the app. Here's my phone number if you have any questions. I put that underneath the rear wiper, and I put it under the license plate. And I come back a couple hours later, no issues. I'm like, all right, we're probably good. If anybody drove by, whatever, they probably saw that. So at the end of the event, car's gone. We call the number, lady answers, and I'm like, hey, this is what happens. I put a note on there. Tow truck drivers don't read notes. They just tow cars.
I was going to say, we have your note here with your car when you come.
Yeah, so we called an Uber, made it there in time before the after hours fees kicked in. It was $180 to get our car out of Hawk. And of course they make you pay by debit or cash. So there's no getting your money back on debit. Once you put debit in, you're done. Bank is not refunding that, that fee. So yeah, it fucking sucks, but it is what it is. We had a good day. Omar gave me some cigars, so I'm still ahead of the game, for everything. We got a new deal with Fogbox, so yeah, we're good. So it just kind of sucks because it's kind of a shady way to run a business, really, because it was all there. All they had to do was look at the giant note hanging off the license plate, and they'd have seen it, but whatever. It is what it is.
That sucks, man.
Yeah.
I mean, so let's rewind a little bit to
good to hear.
To Saturday. So you were working on Saturday Or no, you were out to dinner, right? Saturday.
Yeah. So I had to go to work. So I worked until like 4:00, and then we had to take my car up to the dealership because I had an appointment for first thing Monday this morning, and we didn't want to do it after we got home all day long from the festival, and then have to run down there at 9 or 10 o'clock at night to leave my keys in the drop box. So we ran down there, and then I'm gonna back up a second because Jessica just left. So we're riding back in the rain, still pouring. We got the defroster on. The inside of her windshield is fucked up, dirty, like someone wiped it with a diaper, an oily diaper.
Yeah.
So I can't see, very well, and I'm like, what is going on with your windshield? You need to clean this. She's like, I did clean it. I found a hack with a magic eraser and it didn't work. I go, you know what the hack is? Fucking Windex and a paper towel.
Yeah.
That's the hack.
The hack is Windex and a newspaper.
Newspaper. Yeah. So that's the hack. You had to go get a magic eraser. Now I can't see. So
it erased my vision.
Yeah. So after work, we drop my car off at the dealership. I come home, change, and then head up to the barbecue place. And it was just me, two friends of ours, Ray, the owner, then Steve Saka and Dave Lafferty, just hanging out, telling stories I've never heard before. They were fantastic. Like I said, one day I won't even do it justice. Steve will tell the story, and I've never heard him tell this story before of him climbing the volcano, Mount Mombacho.
Oh my God.
So, but I was following the game on my phone. You were messaging me, and then
pictures and little videos.
Yeah, and then I left, came home. Just a few minutes into the third quarter, and we were looking good. And then we went for it on 4th and 1 instead of kicking a field goal, and that's where my patience ran thin.
It's funny. A funny quick story about that part is I was watching the game, and I think it was around halftime or whatever. I turned it off. I was looking at something else, and I turned it back on, and we have YouTube TV. So I'm sitting there watching the game, and you send a message, and you're like, "What the fuck were they thinking by going on 4th down and not kicking that field goal and tying the game?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I didn't think anything of it. I'm sitting there going, "What the fuck's he talking about?" Jen comes out, and she's like, "Why are you still in the third quarter?" I wasn't even to that point yet. When I hit pause, I realized I was like still back in time.
Oh my God.
I fast forwarded, and I was like, oh shit, it's deep in the fourth quarter. I can't wait.
Speaking of Ray, yeah.
I can't wait to see how this is going to end up. And when it freaking clicked on, I was like, the score hasn't changed. I was like, Kevin's got to be shitting himself right now. And then watch the game, and I was like, it was a great defensive game. Really solid game.
It was. I want to interrupt because Ray, we were just talking about the dinner with Saka, and I was telling about the story of Steve climbing Mount Mombacho. I didn't tell the story. I won't do it justice, so we'll have Steve. But also, I apologize about trying to open up your box of cigars. I reach across the table and I grab a box of cigars, and I was going to open it up like, hey, that's his Christmas gift. What? I'm like, hook a brother up. Give me one of them.
Jesus.
So Steve did have a box of the Year of the Duque there. So he opened that up and gave me one of those.
Oh, nice.
So sorry about trying to steal your cigars, Ray. So, but yeah, back to the game. Yeah.
No.
So now you're caught up.
I'm caught up, and the first thing I thought was Kevin's got to be angry. Has to be angry. The game ends. Everyone's, and I thought to myself, and your response was exactly what I thought it would be. Oh, well, it's going to be the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah.
And looking at the way it's lined up, I mean, Ohio State not winning the Big Ten again, but then puts them in a better position with getting that first round bye. Because who are you playing against again? Like, who are they going to play against? The winner of like James Madison or whatever?
No. We don't have James Madison. We got the winner of you sent it to me, and
Yeah, I did. Hold on.
But
I have it right here.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, like I said, as well as Indiana's defense played, I don't know if anybody. I don't even know if we can beat them again. I mean, we have a better shot only because now that we've played them once.
Yeah.
I think we have a better shot than all the other teams do. I'm not saying that we have the best, or we're going to do it, but their defense was unfucking stoppable.
It was crazy. So yeah, Ohio State is going to play the winner of Miami, Texas A&M.
Yeah, which is going to be Texas A&M. I don't think Miami can beat them.
Georgia is going to be playing the winner of Tulane and Ole Miss.
Yeah. I'd love to see Ole Miss. I'd love to see them get a little further.
Indiana is going to play the winner of Alabama and Oklahoma.
Yeah, which Indiana's going to destroy either one, so it doesn't make any difference. It'll be. I'm hoping it'll be Alabama, so it'll be a fucking 4-loss Alabama.
So do I. I know, right? That'd be beautiful. And then James Madison, Oregon, the winner of that is playing Texas Tech.
Yeah.
JMU sitting there celebrating the victory of Duke over Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah. JMU has no chance against Oregon.
No.
And, yeah.
No. Good for the program, though. That's great to make the playoffs like that. I mean.
Oh, yeah. JMU and Ole Miss.
And
and Tulane, I mean, those are great for those programs to make it into the only the second year of the 12 teams. So now, they were talking about going to 16. It's too much. 12 is enough. Even at one time, I thought 16, like Sweet 16, like the NCAA basketball, and I'm like, no, 12 is more than enough.
It's a lot. I mean, if you go and look at Division I, AA, 2, and 3, they have a pretty big bracketed program, and it's a lot. And when these programs like this, it's definitely going to be a lot. And if you we were talking about this before you came on. Notre Dame, Kansas State, Iowa State, Florida State, Auburn, UCF, Baylor, Kansas, Rutgers, and Temple all declined bowl game invitations. And now since Notre Dame's turned them down because freaking if you're not catering to Notre Dame, it's the end of the world. Now they're saying that this is the sign of the decline or the end of bowl games. And if that's the case, I think you'll see. This is my opinion, but if that's the case, I think you'll see an expansion of 12 to 16, or maybe even more, to get more bowl games.
Yeah. I could see that if you actually got rid of bowl games, and the bowl games are ridiculous anyways. The only people that make money in the bowl games are each bowl game has a CEO of each bowl game.
Yeah.
And they get, I think it's $1 million per bowl. I think that's what they work all year round for, like $1 million, 1.1. They got to host one game, and it's just, and it's ridiculous. And then I heard, Notre Dame, they're out because, it's ESPN broadcasting, and Notre Dame's got a deal with NBC or ABC, who their deal with. So, but I don't know. I think eventually bowl games will go away.
I mean, listen, man, you're talking about, you talk about the key bowl games, right? So you had the Sun Bowl, 1934, the Gator Bowl, 1945, Citrus, 1946. These are back in the 40s, 50s, 70s. And then when you get into the 80s and 90s, you start getting into the Pop-Tarts Bowl, the Alamo Bowl, the famous Idaho Bowl.
Yeah, yes.
The freaking
everybody has a bowl.
So I mean, it's everybody's got a bowl game now, and it's just getting a little. I mean, the Clemson is playing Penn State in the Pinstripe Bowl.
Is that what it is? The Pinstripe Bowl?
Pinstripe Bowl.
Who's the sponsor of the Pinstripe Bowl?
I do not know.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's ridiculous. So get rid of all the if they expand to 16 or keep it at 12, those are your bowl games. Your Citrus, your Rose Bowl, your Fiesta Bowl, the originals, the old ones. We'll keep those, and then that'll be it.
And you're still gonna have your bowl, or at least you have bowl games for the championship games, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the bad boy mowers pinstripe bowl.
Is that what it is? Bad boy mowers pinstripe bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like so you're losing money by going, like we were talking before the show. People don't realize that like Ohio State marching band, like 300 strong, whatever it is, they have to buy a ticket for every single member of the band, every single player, every single backup, every single coach. Like I think just like there's like a core group, very small, that gets like free tickets. And I mean, these teams could be out, 500, 600, 700 tickets that they have to pay. They have to pay for their flights. They got to pay for this. And then all of like Big Ten that goes to the bowl, they pool all their money. And then I believe it gets split between the entire Big Ten, the entire Pac-12. So even if you don't make it to a bowl game, you're going to get a little bit of money because Ohio State, Michigan, Indiana, Penn State, whatever, your conference went to the bowl, but that just means Ohio State gets less. So they potentially lose money by going to these bowl games.
Pinstripe Bowl's been around since 2009.
Really?
This is the 15th anniversary in the annual, and this is they get the payouts $4.4 million in 2019.
Wow.
That was in 2019.
So
I mean, listen, I can't, whatever. I mean, some of these teams,
but that's $4 million that goes to your entire conference, and then when that gets split up, so if you only have like one or two teams that go, in your conference that go to a bowl game, and then say that's
these are teams. These are teams. Yes. How much does each team make college bowl? $4.4 million for each of the 12 teams that make the college football playoff.
Yeah. So like Ohio State, if they're the only Big Ten team that goes to a bowl game, just saying that, like I said, they have to split that $4.4 million amongst the entire conference. So they may only get $250,000.
Well, here's I'll tell you exactly what this is reading, Kev. Okay. So how much does each team get? Not conference. How much does each team get for making the college football playoffs? Okay.
Yeah.
$4 million for each of the 12 teams. An additional $4 million for each of the 8 teams that make the college playoff quarterfinals. $6 million for the 4 teams that make the playoff semifinals, and $6 million for each team that makes the national championship. Additionally, each team who participates in the college football playoff receives $3 million to cover expenses for each round.
Okay.
So 4, 8, 12. That's 20. If you play and you make it from the beginning to the end, that's $20 million. And then an additional $12 million in expenses. That's $32 million that your team will get.
Yeah, your team, but and I believe I know the Big Ten is like they don't keep that. Like Ohio State, they get $4 million, they don't get to keep that. They have an agreement with the Big Ten that they give that money to the Big Ten, so they don't get to keep that money, even though that team gets the $4 million. They give it back to the Big Ten. So at the end of the day, I don't know how much. I mean, now it sounds like they're probably still going to make a couple $1 million, even if they
conference distribution policies for college football playout. This is where you're getting into your
now that's the way that used to be before 2 years ago. I'm assuming it has stayed the same since they expanded to the 12.
This is 2023, 2024. So each of the 10 conferences receive a base amount. For the Power 5 conferences like the ACC, the Big 12, the Big 10, blah, 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 the base combined with the full academic performance pool was approximately $79 million. $79 million for each conference.
Wow. And then, because they're just saying that,
the group of 5 conferences received approximately, this is like AAC, the MAC, the Sun Belt, They get 102 million. Notre Dame received 3.89 million for just beat the standard APR standard because they're independent.
Yeah. Plus they always make more than everybody else because they have their own networking deal. Fuckers.
It says Notre Dame received a payment of 3.89 million by meeting APR standard. The other 6 independents had a share 1.89 million.
Oh, really? I didn't know there was 6 other independents.
Yeah, apparently.
I thought there was just a couple. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, there's they had this whole aggregate stuff on how they do it, but yeah.
So yeah, it's and there's a big push at the end of every year. There's always a big push. Notre Dame either needs to join a conference or people need to stop playing them. Like these big teams just say no, and then Notre Dame's are picky, like for every 2 times that you come to Notre Dame, they come to your school once, so but yeah, it's as you're seeing it now, screw Notre Dame. They need to join a conference or they don't get in at all. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
So it's University of Notre Dame, University of Connecticut,
UConn.
They're original founding members of the original Big East Conference, independent. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Says here the list of current and past independent schools. So you have Florida A&M, they're independent. Hawaii, they're independent. Idaho's independent. This is currently independent. Notre Dame, North Texas, Temple. Well, Temple looks like they are. I don't know. No, they're in the Big East now. They're in the Big East. Western Kentucky and Wichita State.
Yeah, and I know it was Michigan and one other team we're talking about leaving the Big Ten if some of their demands weren't met. And that was just a couple weeks ago, a month ago. They were talking about because the Big Ten's trying to change some things, and they're like, we're out. We're like we're done. We'll just leave the conference. Either become independent or they'll join another conference. So I'm sure they'll get their way. Which because I don't know. I forget what the other team is, but Michigan brings the money. You gotta give them a little
bowl game. It's gonna be them in Texas, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be the bowl game they're playing is the teams that got beat by Ohio State Bowl. I believe is what that bowl is. That what that bowl is called?
The Citrus Bowl is called now.
Yeah.
Teams who got beat by Ohio State.
Yeah.
Well,
that'd be a good. It's gonna be a good game though. Michigan, Texas. I can't predict a winner.
It's gonna be a moneymaker. We know that much.
It's going to be especially Citrus Bowl, especially Michigan coming down to Florida. Florida always wants the northern teams. Your Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio State.
Nice people. You get all those freaking donors and all those alumni in the warm weather.
Well, it's because when everybody retires from the Midwest, they all move to Florida or Arizona. So they know they're going to sell out. Like there's, South Florida, here's 1 million Michigan fans, Wisconsin fans, Ohio State, Penn State, so when those teams come down here to Florida, they sell out. So
I mean, the Pinstripe Bowl sounds really cool because it played at Yankee Stadium, but who's going to go to a Yankee Stadium game in December or January? It's going to be cold as hell. Yeah.
And it's not a dome. So
no, not at all, man. So yeah, good football on Saturday. Had some really cool upsets, some decent upsets. I wouldn't say Ohio State was an upset. I think that's 1-2. That's undefeated.
We had to get up early Sunday morning. Who were we talking about Saturday? And it was the going to be the upset. And I never finished the game. Like it was only like 5 minutes left, and I couldn't stay awake, and I fell asleep. Who were we talking about Saturday night?
Hold on, let me see here. That was Georgia beat Alabama, Indiana beat Texas Tech beat BYU. Oh, it was Duke. It was Duke game. Yeah, Duke beat Virginia in OT.
Yeah. Yeah, Duke.
Yeah.
So that went to OT.
Uh-huh.
Oh, good. I couldn't have stayed up. Yeah, not for overtime. I could barely stay up the last 5 minutes of the game. 6 minutes, I think, is what it was.
I actually
So-
ended up going to bed, and Duke was up, and then I saw Virginia tied them, and then it went to overtime, and Duke won in overtime, and that's where JMU, entered the playoff
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, even if I think if Ohio State went to overtime with Indiana, I don't think we could have won. I don't. They were just playing so much better. They're so much better defense. It was just
great defense. It was funny is before the game they were hyping up the quarterbacks. This is the battle of the Heisman Trophy winner. And I was
battle
like,
of the Heisman. Yeah.
let me tell you something. That was the battle of the defenses.
This battle of the defense. I still after that game, I still don't think either quarterback made a stronger case for them winning because it was all defense. So
no. I mean, it was.
But I see
solid game.
I think we got freshman of the year was Julian Sayin. I think Ohio State they've won 3 or 4 already. But there's always a ton more to go. The awards for everything, every position. So, but yeah, and the Heisman they always say like they're in the running. The Heisman they don't release anything. It's just the news outlets that say these are the 5 picks for Heisman. Like the Heisman group, they're not putting this out there. You guys are competing.
Listen, during that game, Mendoza, the quarterback for Indiana, had 222 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Julian Sayin had 258 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
1 interception.
Nobody, like you said, there was no compelling argument on that. They were equal. It was just all about defense.
Yeah.
Defense. And bad decision making on the coaches. Sorry, Kev.
Bad decision making.
Ohio. My fellow guy made a bad call.
Yeah, Ohio State all year round, 4th and 1, it's a guarantee. 99% we're getting it every time. But for all the point, throughout that whole game, why we went for it, and then to miss a 27-yard field goal, it was at a pretty steep angle. So I'm not saying that I could have made it.
Was the field downhill?
It was at a pretty. It wasn't straight on. It was a little bit of
the hashes. Yeah, that's what they.
Yeah,
that's what you get. That's what you get paid to do. Is kick a
yeah, I know you got
3 spots: middle, hash. You have a 2-hour practice a day.
Yeah.
5 days.
Yeah.
Summer camp, and all you do is kick the ball. That's it. That's it.
These guys are making 65-yard field goals now, and 27 is just a little boot in there.
Can't shank a 27-yarder when you're playing for the Big Ten championship.
Yeah,
I know, but that's all you do. It's all you do is kick balls. You don't have to read a defense. You don't have to come out and freaking wonder if it's a pass or run. You don't have to freaking cover a guy who's 6'5", 280 pounds, and you're 5'10", 180 pounds. You're kicking a ball.
And you don't even have to worry about anybody blocking it because that doesn't happen anymore. it still does. It's so rare that anything gets blocked anymore.
No. Someone's asking about a new era.
I do. I have that one. I have the 800 and the 1500. So I have them both. So ask away. We're a New Year family over here. So, but yeah.
I don't know. Call me crabby. I realize it's not exactly easy pleasy lemon squeezy when you're playing in a stadium like that, and it's how do you season the humidor? You don't. You
don't. Here's what you do on that humidor. You plug it in, you set your humidity and your temperature, and you put a fuck ton of cigars in it, and then you walk away for like 2 to 3 weeks. I'll tell you right now, I live in Florida. This is an air-conditioned lounge. We always keep it around 72 degrees in here. Both of my new airs have been unplugged for 2 years. I don't even plug them in. And they're perfect. They're all metal. They have a thick glass front, magnetic gasket on the front. Nothing can leak out of anywhere. So if you're in an air-conditioned or climate controlled area, you don't even need to plug them in. And I don't keep any humidity in them. Nothing. Like there are no humidification devices in those. When the cigars went in them, they were properly humidified. So, and there's nowhere for the humidity to go. But I would say plug it in. Make sure you're using external or different hygrometers. The Cigar Oasis Caliber 5, the new one that just came out, top of the line. The 4 and the 5 are great. They just came out with the 5.
Digital. Make sure they're digital.
Digital. Put one on the bottom shelf. Put one on the top shelf. Close the humidor up, full of cigars. 80% capacity. You don't want it any less. You really don't want it any more. And then 2-3 weeks, look at it, see where you're doing, and then I guarantee you'll be fine. But yeah, it's 2025. We do not season humidors anymore.
No.
So, and if you say that in a group and someone tells you otherwise, tell them to fuck off. Tell them Cigar Prop. I've owned more humidors than most people could ever dream of, so I know what I'm talking about when it comes
and
to
what's funny is I've gone through the gambit. I've had, my first, I still have my first desktop I bought back in like the early 90s, the mid, or like 94, 95. I think I bought that humidor. Maybe a little bit, maybe somewhere in that 90s. And I've had everything, and that probably holds about 50, I think 20, 25, 50 cigars. I've had desktops, I've had the refrigerator humidors. I've had the real big the big standing wineador that I use for cigars. The whole 9 yards. I've done everything from seasoning to not seasoning. I had the stand-up cabinet. And after like you said, after you've owned so many different humidors and you've tried every way and you've bought into all the other different processes, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to try something a little bit different. Your point, I'm not going to season my humidor. I'm going to do it this way. And you notice that the difference isn't really, it's not negligible, but you're not going through all this ridiculous. Because what ends up happening is when people try and season their humidor, they're always going to wet it too much.
Yep. That's where I was going with that.
And then it's just it really does the direct opposite of what you're trying to do. You're going to overwet it, then it's going to get musty, it's going to get nasty, and nothing is worse than heat and humidity. You already have water in there; it's pooled, or it's your wood in your humidor is so soaked and has absorbed so much water that it's just not going to have a positive effect on your cigars, on your humidor, the whole 9 yards. It's just best to start off, not season it. The most I've ever done with any of the humidors I've gotten, I've taken a light wipe through with with some distilled water, and I leave it open to dry, and then I close it right when it's not completely dry, but I'll close it for a little bit, and then that's it. And it depends on the humidor that I'll do that. If it's a little bit more of a cheaper humidor, I'll do that because I don't think they use as quality of wood within those humidors. But that's the most I've ever done.
Yeah, and if you have a really nice humidor made with high quality, like so right here behind me is a Daniel Marshall humidor. This is a $2,500 desktop humidor. This humidor must be seasoned beforehand. It is solid wood. It comes dry. It will suck the humidity out of all of your cigars. This is when you get into a $2,000 desktop humidor, it needs to be seasoned, and you never wipe down wood with like really high quality wood, because what happens is it raises the grain of the wood and it never goes back down. The only way to lower the grain is you have to sand it, so the grain will always be raised. So this one, like a Daniel Marshall, you're going to season this for a month prior, and then once it's seasoned, that's done. But that's the rarity.
Now, when you're seasoning that one, because I know, like I said, with the cheaper ones, I'll wipe it down because the wood's
exactly. Yeah, wood. It's not super high quality.
But when you season that, do you just take a spray bottle and spray it and just let it kind of set?
No,
soak?
you throw a couple of Boveda packs in there and you close the lid for a month.
Just let the wood do the job.
And then just let it slowly absorb. The wood needs to expand, create a nice tight seal, and that's it. But even with this $2,500 Daniel Marshall, it burns through Boveda packs. Like in a regular humidor that's lacquered and it's got that shiny finish like this a Room 101 here. That lacquer finish keeps all that humidity inside. When you have a solid wood humidor with a wood, non-finished wood, all that humidity it absorbs into all of the wood. And then this room is only 15% humidity. Like it just gets sucked into the atmosphere. So when it's a raw finished humidor on the outside, not lacquered, it takes a lot more upkeep. Like, a couple of Bovedas in this Room 101 would probably last a year. 2 Bovedas last 1 month in that Daniel Marshall. Not that it's not sealed. It's just soaking straight through that wood, and it gets evaporated straight into the environment. So, but yeah.
Nice. Hey, Kev, we're at the almost midway point. So time is running out for the Ashes to Africa.
Yes.
So I'd like to talk a little bit about the fundraiser for our son Joseph, Ashes to Africa. I'm going to play a clip here in just a moment as well. But what is Ashes to Africa, you may ask? Well, our son Joseph is he is down in Florida. He's enjoying his time down in St. Augustine, Florida. He's in his second year, his sophomore year at St. Augustine, and he's studying business. He's studying international business, and part of his studies is to study abroad. But it's more than just studying abroad. They're going to be doing volunteer work as well. So it's a really great opportunity for Joseph. And so for some of you who are watching maybe the first time or listening for the first time, you may not know this, but Joseph, 20 now, he just turned 20 in October. He was diagnosed with leukemia when he was just a little boy, kindergarten. So as you can imagine, when he was first diagnosed, it was pretty damn close to being a little too late. And luckily, through the grace of God and through a great dedicated oncology team, and a strong mother, Joseph was able to battle leukemia. 3.5 years of treatment, for leukemia for boys, 3 for girls, 3.5 for boys, because the cancer likes to hide in the testicles. So they got to go an extra half a year, an extra 6 months of treatment. After that 3.5 years, you have to go visit the clinic for 5 years afterwards. And the first year, it's once a week, then once every other week, then once a month. So he's at the point now where he's considered a survivor. He's in survivorship. But Joseph's been a very active participant in the cigar community, even at an early age. I've said so much it chased Kevin away. He's got to go dry his eyes. But Joseph's been a big participant and a big supporter of the cigar community. Every year we give back to different causes, primarily around pediatric cancer. Joseph was an LLS, the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. He was the Boy of the Year for a couple of years, so we did a lot of fundraising. We've done Lego sets. We've collected and donated Lego sets to the cancer clinic here that treated Joe. And this year we're doing something else as well. But one of the things we wanted to do was, let's give back to Joe. Let's help him get to Africa, where he can do some good. He can learn not only some great lessons in his international business class, but he's also going to be giving back to the local communities. And we had a number of people in the cigar industry so selflessly donate a number of items that we're going to be giving away as a thank you through the I guess, am I allowed to say this, Kevin, or what am I allowed to say and not say? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really make a difference.
Okay. So basically, these are thank yous that we're going to give back as in the form of a raffle. So every ticket that you buy or every donation, you get a ticket. Jennifer just announced that, for every donation, we're going to be giving an extra ticket, and all those who donated prior is going to get an extra ticket. So there is incremental amounts that you can donate and get more and more tickets. So a great opportunity to not only help out and help Joseph, achieve another goal towards another milestone in his life, but another milestone in his dream in what he wants to accomplish. But it's a great opportunity to win some great cigar prizes. So let me play this video, guys, for you real quick. It's about a minute and a half. Just sit tight, but you get a good opportunity to see what's available to you.
In a world where second chances are rare, one young man is racing towards the purpose he fought to survive. At 6 years old, Joseph faced leukemia, and he beat it, not by luck, but by faith, grit, and the kind of fire that refuses to die. Now that fire is pulling him across the world to Tanzania, to study, to serve, and to begin the mission placed on his life, bringing faith, hope into prisons and rebuilding the forgotten. To get him there, the community has stepped up with incredible appreciation gifts. Pieces of legacy crafted and donated by people who believe in something bigger. Every donation enters you into these giveaways, but here's the update. Everyone who has already donated, you get an extra ticket. And every donor from this moment forward gets a bonus ticket, because generosity deserves power, and time is running out. This is the moment where the story shifts, where the world decides whether the mission rises or falls short. Be the difference, be the push, be the reason Joseph gets to Tanzania. Donate now at vsrcigarfam.com. Share it, spread it, answer the call. Ashes to Africa. Purpose begins with you.
I still think Morgan Freeman narrating that would have gotten more people entered.
I think so too. You know what? I think maybe I got to go back and do the Joseph now starts his journey to Ashes to Africa. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Whenever I watch that video, it does choke me up a little bit, honestly, because those last pictures of Joseph laying there playing video games with a little bald head. That's when I first met him. And he was about 6 months into his treatment, and he was frail, white. He could barely walk. He had just really finished that first 6 months was a huge battle. He couldn't walk. He had to learn how to walk again. That's how sick he was, and that's how when Jennifer had taken him and got him scanned and got him diagnosed, it was at her insistence on having that done, and it saved his life. And it's amazing to see him now, the strapping young lad that he is, and knowing where he came from. But like I said, it's a great opportunity. There's a lot of outstanding prizes that you've seen in that video. So I just want to thank everybody who has donated. When we do the live event, when we do the drawing, there's going to be definitely some special shout outs to a lot of folks, and thanking everybody who has donated thus far, and then also thanking everyone who's going to donate here in the next couple of days, maybe even within the next hour. But it's a good opportunity to give back to a good cause, but also a great opportunity to win some fantastic prizes. The one that's for me there's a lot of them in there. The Belladama cigars with the 1930s ashtrays is great. The Rocky Patel that Jessica donated is great. But the Aganorsa Leaf event with Terrence Riley, I think, is really pretty freaking impressive, because unless you go to a shop, a lounge, you're not gonna be a part of this.
Yeah, it's got a super cool event. It'll definitely be fun and definitely be worthwhile for the one winner, and then like the 4 or 5 of his friends that he's gonna get to invite.
Yeah. Or
You're gonna, or she. You're gonna get some fumas sent to you ahead of time, so you'll get to smoke them in that live event with just a few people and Terrence Riley, talking cigars. So
no, that's gonna be a great time, man.
It'll be super fun. Hold on a second. So as Jessica walking in, we're having her change the 3D printers. That's where I had to run to. I had an error code on my 3D printer, and I had to go change it real quick.
You got Jessica working at the 3D printer farm.
The print farm, man. I said it's when you got 5 printers, there's always something happening on one of them. You know, it's fixing this, changing that. It's there are days when it goes smooth, nothing goes down, and then 3 machines will go down, and
all at once.
All at once, and then you're scrambling to get them all fixed and get them all up and running. Luckily, we're ahead of schedule. This big project we're working on now, we didn't even need to start until the first of the year, and it'll almost be done. And it's definitely a fun. And I don't know what the hell is going on Etsy. You know, like I have sold more of those pirate cannon cigar rest.
Oh, those are great.
2 weeks. Every day there's like 10 orders coming through, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, is Etsy pushing these things or what? So I love it. You know, thankfully.
Those are great. I love them.
Yeah. So they're super cool. But yeah, it's lots of cool stuff we got on the old 3D printer. Plus, I'm printing a lot of cool stuff for myself. So, you know, there you go. So
it's a I mean, it's pretty unique, you know, especially if you're someone who likes pirates, or if you're even a seafaring person, or a Civil War buff, or you like anything that's kind of related in that realm. It's a pretty cool cigar rest. It really is.
And it looks like a cannon.
It looks like a cannon. So yeah, there you go. I got a special edition. I got a special edition from Kevin.
Yeah, you got the one that I was going to patina all of them until I did about 50, and I'm like, this is a lot of work, you know. So, and then it was after this batch sells out, I may switch over to like wood. You know, they do have wood filament where you can actually in wood, and it's actually really nice, but it is quite expensive. So I don't know.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Kev.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's true.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
but
yep.
So yeah, I haven't got anything from Art. I mean, it doesn't look like he's been active. So I am sad that Art, you know, maybe we can reschedule, that he hasn't been able to hop on, because I know he's been very active on social media. He's getting a lot of heat there.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if it's him or if it's like a cloned account, but I get some weird stuff from Art. So there may be a cloned account from Art sending me some weird stuff, you know. But yeah, he's been super active on the socials.
But yeah, well, this one here is, I know it's Art's, because he and I were messaging each other back and forth on this on this profile. So I know it's definitely Art's, because like I said, he was really giving it to the announcement that the Boutique Cigar Association shutting down. And you know, it seems like it's funny as he was not getting anybody arguing with him.
No, he wasn't. And we all saw that coming down. You know, the whole thing with the partnership with the PCA, and them not having a booth, you know, the pavilion at last year's PCA, were like, what's going on here, you know?
Yeah.
So
I really can't be too critical of it, because I've kept my mouth, I've kept silent for a while, just was like, you know what, What's in the past is in the past. Let it go. I can understand as an active member or participant like Art was and some of the other folks of being pissed off about something like this, right? There are some folks I was like, you're thumbsing it up and you're agreeing with them, but where were you, while all this was going on? But I'm definitely, waiting to talk to him live and get his experience because
we'll dive.
I really want to dive into that with him and get his feedback and his thoughts on it.
Yeah, what about that? What about that other group that you joined up? What is that called? Yeah, I don't know. So
TP Rocks or
yeah.
TPA Rocks. I joined that. I wanted to see what it was all about. It seems like they're still going strong. I don't know if that is.
You join any of them weekly herfs? Are they still going on?
I haven't. I've gotten the invitations, but I haven't joined in on the weekly herfs. I can't say anything negative about them.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't looking for anything.
No, I know. Yeah. I'm saying in general, I can't say anything negative about them. I can't say anything. I haven't engaged enough to say anything positive about it. I just know that there are a group of individuals who are all friends of mine and upstanding folks who wanted to start a group that was a little bit different. You got Dr. Rodriguez is in that. You got Ish from Banff Cigars. You got you got Ken Dorbacher from Chief. You got the guys from the Great Lakes Smoke. Oh, they don't call themselves Great Lakes anymore. They've expanded. They're just the Great.
Yeah, the Great Pipe and Cigar Show.
Great, but yeah. So I know it has a lot to. I know there's it's very deep rooted in pipe tobacco as well. I think probably a little. It's more tobacco in general, but I think it's really deep seated and deep rooted in pipe tobacco. But
are they still doing a show? That used to come up in my Google. My feed doesn't have a lot of cigar stuff in it. And so I know Great Cigar.
I don't think so. I don't know. I can't speak to that, but I wish those guys, I wish that whole group well. Like I said, it's I didn't sometimes when you join those, like for me, when you join a group, you really want to get involved in it. And then it's like, you realize that you don't have the time to really get actively involved with it to the level that's probably needed and necessary.
Yeah, it looks like they're still doing it a little less frequently. Looks like, but they're still doing. Looks like about one show a month, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have to tune into one of their shows. Maybe now that I clicked on it, it'll show up in my in my feed.
Yeah, no, like I said, they got some great folks and some. I'm definitely interested to see what they do. I thought they did an event too, like a TPA Rocks event or something.
They had an event over at Ish's. Ish has like a new lounge here in Florida or something.
Yeah,
I'll have to get over there. And
I like to check his place out too. But that was the one thing I always thought that back when I was on the BCA that we talked about doing, and I know that they did it once, is holding these smaller these venues, especially for boutiques, is holding regional venues. And it's because honestly, when it comes to the PCA, and I had a blast this year at the PCA, and Kevin, I preach to the choir. When you go through there, you see all the folks, and sometimes the smaller companies, the boutique companies, can get lost.
Yeah,
depends on where you're seated and where you're viewed. Now, the pavilion that the BCA wanted to do, I know there's some heavy criticism about that. I don't know enough about it to be critical. I think you were at the event when. Did you go to PCA when they had the pavilion?
I'm very, very critical of that pavilion. Yeah.
So there, you're better, and anybody who paid to be a part of that pavilion, probably has more to say about it. I can't speak to it because I wasn't there. I didn't see it. I just read all the comments about it and heard what you had to say. But I always thought that having these regional events where you can introduce boutique cigars to the Northeast, to the Southeast, to the freaking I guess that would be considered the Midlands, or not Midlands. I can't remember what they call that kind of North Carolina, Virginia area. The name escapes me, but having those regional meetings like that, or regional events like that, I think you get local shops that come out. You get locals, you get cigar smokers that will smoke your cigars. Some local shops, and I think you have a better opportunity and a greater opportunity to introduce boutique cigars in a more a little bit more of a personal setting.
And you're going to get more accounts from doing events like that, because when you're at PCA, you have a very limited time frame of capturing the attention of a lounge owner that happens to be there. And and I've heard varying numbers, but 90% of their budget that they're going to spend is already spent with the big guys. Drew Estate, Padron, Perdomo, Crown Heads, all of those. So 10% of their budget, whatever that is, they're looking for something new. And, you've got to make a case for why. And that 10% budget may just be, depending on the size of the lounge, may just be 1 to 3, new companies. Most likely it's only going to be 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. And you've got to make your case in a short amount of time of why they should pick you versus the other, boutiques that are going to be there. And if you don't have your shit together, if you don't, if you showed up and a customer asked, hey, can I, do you have like your pricing sheet, your order sheet? And you're like, yeah, I don't have that. Just tell me what you want. This isn't how this works. I need to, give me your sheet and, I can fill out, see what your pricing is. So you've already lost them. And then if you only show up with one person, and you're talking to one lounge owner, like a couple of the guys there, or the boutiques that were there brought 2 to 3 people, or 2 to 3 of their principals, like the crew from like Minnesota or whatever, those guys, Lovely Cigars, great guys, like 5 of them. So the 5 principals of the cigar company there able to talk to 5 different, lounge owners at once, versus when you're just there by yourself and you didn't know any better, or you weren't taught any better to how to prepare for an event. If you spend 20, 30 minutes with one lounge and then 2 or 3 other lounge owners that maybe have recognized your cigar decided to bypass you because you were busy, mm-hmm. they're never coming back.
No, 100%. And I'm sorry.
But I say, but when you were talking about those regional events, then you get the consumers coming in from that region, mm-hmm. So even if the lounge owner doesn't show up, Kerry goes to his local lounge and, like, hey, what'd you do? I'm like, oh, hey, I went to that festival this weekend, and whatnot. And man, I met a couple great companies. Man, this cigar is really good.
Yeah. Why are you
that lounge owner will be like, oh, I've never heard of them, like, let me look into it. And then if you really like the cigar, because I've done it, what's the first thing you're going to do? I bought 2. Mm-hmm. Let me give you one, mm-hmm. So now that brand owner has the cigar that they're able to smoke in their time versus PCA. Yeah. You're not smoking, you're coming home with all of these samples. Mm-hmm. What are you going to get to those samples? 6 months, 9 months later, you're not smoking them all, and then, so those little boutique like events like that, in my opinion, I don't have any hard facts on that, but you have a greater chance of getting into lounges versus one major event a year, and the cost of like PCA, you could do 10 little regional events for the price of one PCA event.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like you said, there's what hard data do you have? Well, just looking at, educated guess, theoretical, however you want to place
and then talking with, a limited amount of people that I talk with.
But I mean, it seems to reason that what you just laid out, plus you figure if you do an event and you're in town, it gives you an opportunity as a cigar brand owner where you can maybe visit a shop or 2, invite them out to the event, give them a ticket to come to the event. Afterwards, maybe go out and see a lounge afterwards if you have time. Probably not. It's probably exhausted at that point. But you're going to get folks that are going to come in. They're going to be they're going to be cigar shop owners. They may place an order with you, or they just may buy some cigars and get back to you later. But what you've done is if you get, I don't know, 1,000 people to show up, now you have 1,000 brand ambassadors if you make a damn good cigar and they like it. And they're going to go back and they're probably going to say, do you have this cigar? No. Oh, I was just at the that boutique cigar event. Oh yeah, I was invited to that. I couldn't make it. Well, here's a cigar. You should give this one a try. I just think it stands to reason that that would make better sense. And some of the conversations we had very early on in the association were based on having smaller events like that. The unification with the PCA. I mean, I get it. I understand that it was this united front, if you will, but I still think you could have had a united front and still maintain your independence as a boutique group or a boutique association without folding into the PCA and really, getting a lack of return on your investment.
And I just never understood how, like I said, in the pavilion, I loved it. It was a great idea, but when you've got, an association where you've got several dozen members and 4 show up at the largest event of the year, and you weren't paying all that money. You weren't spending the $10,000 on the booths and the rental space and everything else. You had a pavilion. You had a cordoned off section. Everybody had these, cookie cutter booths. You had your banner on the front, and then that was it. It was very, very basic. And you had enough room for 20 and 4 people show up, and it just, so yeah, I understand why if that was the reason that PCA decided last year, that to nix that, you're like, hey, we cordoned off a large chunk of space. We can't do that again if only 4 companies show up.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine with the when we're at the PCA this year, and the way it was laid out, if there would have been that just think about that area they had with tables for food, if that would have been regulated for a pavilion and there was only 4 brand owners in there. I mean, I can't speak to the reasons why people didn't show up. I've heard some scuttlebutt behind the scenes, but nothing that would be worth mentioning because it's not. It would, if Art was here, he'd probably, or someone like who experienced it, could probably get some feedback. But my imprint has been long gone for many years. But yeah, I mean, it is. I was not surprised, but there was a part of me that was very disappointed to see that occur, because I was there very early on in the beginning stages of the Boutique Cigar Association, and really believed in the mission statement and the work that needed to be done in order to make that into something that was a place where boutique companies could really feel united, if you will, and feel like they had a place where they had a voice, and everyone, a bunch of unified smaller voices really kind of coming out and channeled and focused in a direction that became one big voice.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll obviously I say we'll see how it turns out. But yeah, no, there is no more. So there's maybe Ish, with his group, maybe he learns and I know he's got quite a few members of his organization, that were part of the BCA. So maybe that will be in the future of lessons learned, and maybe we'll see PCA will give the pavilion another chance to another organization like that. But in that case, those guys can't squander that. But luckily with Ish and the group that of guys that he has, they are some more bigger brands, bigger the boutique brands that, you know, and I hate to say it in a negative way, but they have their shit together. They got their shit together.
Mhm.
You know, it's a, you know, so, but yeah, but
Agreed.
and I would like to, and what are your thoughts on, even if they didn't have a pavilion on the PCA, because, you know, spread out through the PCA, you had boutiques here and there. Do you think that's a good idea, or do you think that they should be not cordoned off like lepers, you know, on one side, but as a boutique cigar brand owner, would you want to be in a, you know, not a cordoned off pavilion, but just on a separate side, you know, amongst your peers, you know, or are you happy to be, you know, in between a Tatuaje and a My Father and a Drew Estate, you know?
I think there's an argument to both, right? And
Yeah,
I could see, and I'm thinking about this. I could see having a booth next to, like you said, whether it's Asylum, you know, Drew Estate, you know, Saka, whomever, and getting some of the overflow or getting some business.
That's the word I was going to use, the
from
overflow.
from the foot traffic that these bigger brands are getting in order to lift the community, right?
Yeah.
If you spread out the boutique cigar companies amongst the bigger groups, you know, you have that potential to get greater lift amongst the smaller groups, and an opportunity for them to introduce their cigars to some folks that may be waiting to see someone else, or they have some time to kill, or whatever the case may be.
Oh, you know, that's a good point. If you're waiting to see Saka or waiting to see Pete Johnson, and you're just milling about, and you're like, oh, hey,
look how we met. Look how we met with Amami. You know, you know, we were waiting for what's his name with El Mago cigars.
Yeah, Nick.
Nick, you run the bathroom. I was waiting for you. We're waiting for Nick. I look over. There's Amami cigars. I start shooting shit with the next thing you know, boom, we're interviewing. Boom, we get his cigars, and just super nice guy, fantastic cigars. So I think that there's some benefit to having these boutique companies marbled throughout. Yeah, having that pavilion and an area for folks to come visit. The whole concept is fantastic, but I also think that you have to have a pavilion that's worth visiting. It can't be a bunch of empty spaces, you know.
Yeah.
So I kind of like having the smaller companies marbled throughout the floor, and then, you know, elevating them with the group, because really what you want is you want as many members as you can get. You want as many returning and successful members as you can get. And as these companies go from smaller to bigger to medium size, and as they start to rise, you know, with the tide, then they're able to get bigger booths, you know, and then the next smaller company can come in and fill that void. And I think that's a great opportunity to really introduce boutique brands across the board, and then also allow them to be successful. And listen, you know, I know a lot of the bigger companies, you know, they're always, you know, talking about and the bigger guys being supportive of boutique brands. And I think it's an opportunity to participate.
You said, you know, it would be a good idea. I don't know how it would work, or if they'd be catch on, have like a Big Brothers Big Sisters, you know, have Pete Johnson have a boutique with him, like, you know, like that's you know, my big brother this year is Pete Johnson. My big sister this year is whoever, you know. And
one problem with that, one problem with that is that you would have to have that company, whether it's Pete, Steve, whomever, have to know that person. And because what you don't want happening is having Pete Johnson being the big brother of sucky ass small freaking unprofessional company, and then Pete Johnson gets his name associated with that organization.
Yeah, no, yeah, you would they wouldn't be picked for you. You would have to, you'd go into a group, it'd be dodgeball, so you got Pete, Steve, all the guys, okay, here's your 10, 12 big ones. Here is your list of the smaller boutiques. Pete, you go first. Oh, hey, I want so-and-so. And then gets down to the end. Steve's like, fuck, I don't want this guy. It's like
you'll have stock and say, I don't know. Fuck him. Let him go freaking sit over there next to the freaking chalupas and the French fries and figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would be I think it'd be interesting if you can get some sort of a discount if you bring along someone who's a boutique brand that you would support and kind of big brother it or big sister it along. I think that'd be pretty interesting. But I think just in general, having the smaller companies and having bigger companies do that, you run into a lot of problems where there's going to be some companies. And I could tell you know as well as I do, because you probably feel the same way. If they were like, hey, Kevin, you have to be a big brother, pick someone you're like, I don't fucking know any of these people. I can't put this cigar props, seal of approval on anybody who I'm not really familiar with.
Yeah, and then you just don't know who's going to show up. Like we interviewed those 3 guys at the one booth, and they all had different stories to tell. And then whatever that one booth is that was next to them was those 2 guys sitting down eating, or they were on their phone the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, whatever. We walked by a couple times, didn't even have, and we had a camera set up, everything else. I see a camera coming by my booth. I throw my food on the ground. I put my phone away. Like, hey, are you familiar with my brand? No, I'm not. Hey, we got a camera. Why don't you tell us about your brand?
Yeah, it definitely is. It's definitely it's an event where if you have a booth, you have to be engaging. You have to be gregarious. You have to be outgoing. You can't sit around and fiddle, fuck around and twiddle your thumbs and eat. When you're missing the opportunity, you spend money and time to have that occur.
And sitting down, I even saw that at this past weekend at the Ybor City Fest. You just don't have, very engaging people, but you don't stand up. To me, that's a little disrespectful. I don't care how long you've been standing on your feet. I really don't. You stand up. When you greet somebody, you stand up, shake their hand, fist bump, whatever. But you give them the respect of at least getting up off your chair.
Yeah.
Jessica and I were on our feet. Jessica and I were on our feet the entire time. We had chairs in the booth, never sat down one time. It's Omar had to sit down a couple times, but when he sits down, he's finally at face level. With you, so nothing like
his back's
like
gotta kill him from bending over and talking to people.
Oh well, it did, and his knees, were bothering real bad. But when you're 7 feet tall, and then that could be a little intimidating when a 5 foot tall brand owner comes down and you're like this. Yeah, let me tell you about Fratello. So you're like, hey man, like. Back off a little bit.
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially when especially when like I told you when I first met him, he had just sat down to eat, and I walked in and they're like, and he's like, oh, he put his food down and he stood up, and I was just like, he stood up. It took him like 5 minutes because he's so fucking tall. And I was like, oh man, great to meet you. I'm like, dude, just sit back down and eat. Like when you're that tall, you're bending over talking to 99% of the people you're talking to hunched over. Because you can't sit there and talk to them standing straight up. So your back's got to be killing you. You're already freaking lugging around that freaking big ass frame, so your knees are killing you. Sit down, eat your freaking food. I'll get my cigars. We'll talk. Just relax, man, because you don't need to have one more person. You got to freaking hunch over and explain your freaking brands to me, because right now you're gonna get freaking scoliosis just freaking attending these events.
Yeah, no, I wanted to go back down to the because at one point it was I went and got everybody food. I didn't tell them they were busy, and I went down to the little Cuban food place, and tons of great food vendors. They had empanadas and then devil crab, like these breaded devil crab balls. Oh my God, they were so amazing. But I got to buy empanadas too. And Omar's like trying this empanada and he's like devouring it. And he's like, oh my God, this just reminds me of home. You know, and I wanted to run down and tell that person, like, you just made a Dominican guy happy because he had an amazing empanada. You know, just wanted to throw that out. You guys are doing, and they were fucking fantastic.
Oh, good empanadas, man. Real good. We used to have a Torados by here. It was Puerto Rico. They were Puerto Rico food. They made empanadas. God, they were fucking phenomenal. I swear, they were deep. They were so fucking good.
Yeah, this guy, they were beef, and he was making them right there, rolling them, deep frying them right there, putting them out, and they were so good.
Jen, tonight for dinner. So yesterday, Jen made beef stew, and Jen likes to cook, and she's a very good cook too. So I'd say I've been freaking dieting and losing weight. I think I probably gained about a good 5 to 8 pounds back just over the winter months. It's getting colder. I'm not as active outside. Jennifer's making better food, and I'm eating more. But she made this stew yesterday. That was fantastic. But tonight, I've been after her now. This is what's funny. I'm like, hey, just see that clip I sent you on Facebook? Yeah. Hey, just see that Instagram video I sent you? Yeah. And after like a week, I'm not kidding you, a week, and I said her at least 1 or 2 a day. I said, hey, are you getting the fucking hint that I want you to make me some fucking Thai food? And she's like, why don't you just ask me? I'm like, you don't like Thai food. I do. I've sent you Thai recipes for the last week. I'm like, I would like for you to make me Thai food, please. So tonight, she made this Thai curry coconut milk with chicken thighs, mushrooms, noodles. I had to stop eating because I was full, but it tasted that good. I was like, I don't care how full I am. I want to eat more because it just tastes that freaking good. I know for you, as I'm saying this, all you're hearing is blah 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 chicken.
Yeah, there's a Thai place. I've never been to a Thai. The food looks amazing. It looks appealing. There's a new Thai place that just opened up. Been hearing a lot. You know, we have like every group. You probably have the same, food groups, in your town. I think every town does on Facebook. And a lot of people were talking about them. We drove by the other day. I'm like, hey, everybody's been talking about this Thai food place. Let's go some night, like in the next week or two. I've never had Thai food. I'm not against it. I mean, I look at various Thai dishes. I'm like, oh, they all look appealing. I mean, nothing looks,
Do you like curry?
I've only had like real curry like a couple times in my life, so I don't know if I don't know if I like curry. I've tried it. I've never had like a dish. So like, oh, hey, try this. I'm like, oh yeah, it's good. But I've never, honestly, I don't know.
Yeah. I love Indian food. I love Thai food. I just, it's so good. But yeah, if you get an opportunity, and there's so many different,
is Indian and Thai like, because there's a new Indian place too. Are they similar? I don't know.
No.
Okay.
There is some
I know like the spice level I think is like
the
they're both
curry,
like
the similarities of some curry, and then also the use of coconut milk is there's some similarities there, but eating Indian food is completely different than eating Thai.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never really delved too much into either.
Yeah.
Like, I see some dishes on either. I'm like, oh, those look appealing. And
if you go to a Thai restaurant and they'll say, how do you want it hot 1 through 10?
I know not to say 10.
Well, what I say is I go, I want it Thai hot, and they always look at me and they're like, are you sure? I'm like, I'm sure. And Thai hot is freaking past 10.
Yeah.
Thai hot is, hey, you're Thai, you're used to eating this, and you like shit spicy. You're not some freaking gringo who's who maybe put some hot sauce on their freaking eggs. And I always like spicy food, but Thai food spiciness, it's got great flavor to it. So I love eating it because I don't like just hot food to be hot.
See
Because there's so many people are like, I love this. I'm like, dude, that's just hot to be stupid hot.
That's what when people ask, like, oh, how spicy do you want it? I'm like, I like to enjoy my food. I want to taste the flavors. I don't want the hot, because you could just make the cheapest thing on your menu hot. And if that's what I want, so who cares? So right. I want to be able to take. Now, I do know at a Chinese place, there's no Chinese place alive that makes spicy food. I always say as hot as you can make it, and it's like still a number 3. I've never had spicy Chinese in my life. No,
no, it's very. Singapore noodles was probably the spiciest I've ever gotten. It's curry based and some peppers and stuff. But other than that, no. Even the Kung Pao chicken, when you're like, I want it extra hot, it's like it still lacks the pow. It's more heavy on the Kung than on the pow.
Yeah, I know when last time we went down to Boynton Beach, Abe and Brandy took Jessica and I out to a pho place, and the food wasn't hot, but it was boiling. It was beyond boiling. Like you couldn't touch it for like 15 or 20 minutes. It was like fucking lava, like later on, it's still bubbles coming. I'm like, how is this dish still boiling hot? And then I see like these places like overseas, Japan, whatever, they got pho, and they come around like these little molten balls, like, oh, hey, your soup's cooling down. They drop a molten, like the soup was still boiling to begin with, and you're dropping this molten ball in there to heat it up even more. It's like, get out of here.
I love pho. There's a Vietnamese place I used to go to up in Virginia that was just had the best pho. The noodles, the soup is just so delicious, especially on a cold day. But yeah, I mean, I like spicy, but I like flavorful spicy.
And big difference. Hot,
yeah. Thai hot is fucking hot. But it's
I know that.
Loaded with flavor with Thai hot. It's not getting the wings with some Dave's Insanity sauce, and it's
I know.
Burns your mouth up. Screw that. I want something with some freaking flavor to it that's going to be spicy hot. And Thai hot has been some of the best tasting, spiciest food. I have had Ethiopian food when I was in Virginia, when I was working up in the Virginia area. And I got to tell you, fantastic, incredible. I don't know what meal it was. I had lunch with an Ethiopian doctor. His whole staff's Ethiopian. They ordered it. I was just like, order me whatever. I trust you. And it was so flipping good. But that night, if anybody would have walked in my room, they would have died instantly from the freaking toxic freaking smell.
Yeah.
It really did a number on my GI system later on in the evening. But the spices that they use in Ethiopian food is like this marriage of different spices. I can't remember the name of what they call it, but it's a maritage of different spices. But it is so uniquely different than what you're used to. And it was on point too and on fire, but whew, I'll tell you, man, that evening, forget about it.
And I know it's one thing Jessica misses about New Jersey, New York, is like some of those foods that we don't get down here. Like we'll get some like small, Thai places, Indian places, and they don't do well. And people, like Jessica will try these places like, oh, it's not like the Thai I'm used to in New York. It's not the Indian I'm used to in New York or New Jersey, So I don't know. We'll try them. I did find out tonight that the next town over, Punta Gorda, has there's a pizza place, and he has like the 3-time U.S. pizza making champion that owns this pizza place. One town over. It's like 20 minutes from the house. Huh. It was like a video of him accepting his last award in Parma, Italy, for his Roman style pizza. And I'm like, how the hell have we not known this? Like 20 minutes away, this 3-time pizza champion, so and I'm super stoked this weekend to get over there.
Nice.
try some pizza.
The,
Jessica's super picky.
the spice that they use is berbere.
Yeah.
And it's a mix of chili base. It's a chili based blend. And it's got garlic, ginger, cardamom, cumin, and this freaking
Sounds
spice,
delicious. Yeah.
holy balls! It's really, it's so ballsy spicy, but it's fantastic. It is so good. Yeah, it is probably one of the foods that I've eaten along with some of the Thai hot food I've had that is just freaking some of the spiciest, but some of the tastiest food I've had. And like you said, I mean, we live in South Carolina, so it's everything's deep fried down here, and there is a great deal of Southern cooking that I love, and I love to eat. I love grits. I love collard greens. I love black eyed peas. Jennifer makes some of the best freaking collard greens I've had in a long time. I mean, really good. They're different, souffles that they make, or whatever, the casseroles. But when I spent all my time in Virginia, I did miss the fact that I was like, I just got to go into this neighborhood. This is a Chinese, area. All the freaking stores, everything in there, Chinese, Middle Eastern. You go in here, it's all Middle Eastern restaurants. You go in this particular area, like I said, it was Ethiopian, and you have the diversity is great. You see the culture, the diversity, but the foods, holy God Almighty!
Yeah, we get down here in our area. We get some of the best Chinese in the United States, and the best Cuban food. And you just get burned out. People are like, oh my God, this place is the best Cuban food ever. Yeah, it's okay. You eat enough of it, it's fine. It's just like, it's like you just take it for granted, but, and there's only, I can't eat all Cuban food, and, so, and Chinese, it is what it is. But yeah, I definitely want to expand and try some, some Thai and some Indian and some other places when I start hearing people, talk about it. But I will, like, in some of these groups, I'll creep on that person's profile. I'm like, oh, hey, this is the best Thai I've ever had. I'll go to their profile, and then it'll, they, born in New York or the Bronx or Connecticut or wherever. I'm like, okay, I'll take your word for it. But like, this is the best Thai ever. I'm like, man, you lived in Miami your whole life. I'm not taking your word for some Thai food, or whatever. So, you got to take everything with a grain of salt. Same with me and pizza. Don't take a pizza recommendations from Kevin. No. Kevin is going to fucking steer you wrong when it comes to pizza. You talk to Jessica on that. We've tried every pizza place in a huge radius of our house, and we have one good pizza place. So two, maybe two. So, but yeah, you don't take that from Kevin.
No, it's
Kevin, like, hey, where's the best pizza place in town, bro? You had Wawa yet? Wawa makes a killer pizza.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's like, okay, where's Jessica like to eat?
we were in Jersey, went to a Portuguese restaurant. Was really big too in Virginia and Maryland was the Peruvian chicken places. That's just the way they make their chicken is just fantastic. I was near Towson State University, and I stopped at this restaurant because it was Himalayan cuisine, and it was just Chinese food. It was Chinese food with a little bit of like Indian, at least from my opinion. But it was really, really good. But it wasn't anything that was like, God damn, you got to really so much different than any other chicken. Like when I had Peruvian chicken, I was like, this spice is different. Like I walk in that restaurant, I was the only guy speaking English. I'm by myself, and I'm like, I'm not leaving until I fuck up this whole tray of food because this is fantastic food. But yeah, it is different. I mean, down here we have a couple pizza places that we go to, but it's still tough, man. It's tough. It's
If you want Russian and Ukrainian food, you come to a little town called Northport, Florida. We have the largest population of Russian and Ukrainian outside of New York and outside of Russia and the Ukraine. They all
Really?
they all immigrate to New York, and they all retire and come to Northport, Florida for some reason. And other than pierogies, not a fan of Ukrainian or Russian food. I'll tear up some pierogies though.
I'll tell you, Jennifer and I this weekend. So over Christmas, we always would. Jennifer found this Polish couple in the area that makes food and sells it around the holidays. So she goes and gets their homemade pierogies. So we show up, and they're going to Poland this year. So normally they smoke. They do assorted meats too, which is off the hook. But she got a loaf of bread from them. So we show up. They're like, yeah, we're going to Poland. Yeah, we got everything here for you. They pull out the bread, like, the bread has another couple more minutes. It's like, okay, so we're shooting a shit. Ding! He pulls the bread out. He pulls the container out, flips it over. The bread just pops right out of it and lands, and it just smells like heaven. And he puts it in a brown paper bag, gives it to Jen. We sit in the car. It's burning Jen's thighs. That's how hot it is. Still in the bag. Every time she shifts, a little freaking crack in this brown bag directs a freaking shot of delicious steamy bread smell at me. We get home, we're just like, we pull out the freaking knife. We just cut off a piece. This is some of the best freaking bread I've ever had. These folks know how to make good Polish food, good bread.
Yeah, so we have a Polish church here in town, and like once a month they put the sign out. This coming up Saturday, like fresh pierogies, and like you can't get in there. Like the line is a mile deep. Like everybody, every Polish, Ukrainian, Russian, family around, diving in and getting all the other pierogies. I've lived in this town for, I don't know, 15 years. Still never got a pierogi. Not waiting in that line. And just to get a 2 hours deep and to say we're sold out. So one day I'll get there early and get some pierogies. You mentioned bread. So one part of the Steve Saka story I'll tell you was after this like 8-hour trek through the jungle to climb Mount Mombacho, finally finds like coming down like this, not ranger station, but this place, and they're dying of hunger, dying of thirst. Do you have any water? They did not anticipate this journey. And then he saw they had a loaf of Wonder Bread, and he goes, I will give you $20 for that loaf of Wonder Bread. And this is in, Granada. So, that's, I will give you a month's salary for that loaf of bread. He said him and Cindy sat in the car and split up this loaf of Wonder Bread and just eating this loaf of Wonder Bread, inside the car. As soon as you did that bread story, it just reminded me of that, so.
Yeah. I mean, there's good bread, but if you're hungry enough, Wonder Bread is probably it's probably the best bread he's had ever at that moment.
Yeah, we got a little like a New York sub place right up the road, and they make they're only open till their bread runs out. They bake their bread
like that.
Yeah, bake their bread fresh every day. If they run out at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, that's just when they're done for the day. We don't have anything more for their sandwiches, and the sandwiches are good. They're pretty good sandwiches. That bread, unbelievable.
That's what makes a good sandwich. A lot of people don't realize that, is especially like a cheesesteak. That's why.
That's all I ever get is their cheesesteak. Yeah.
Which one do you like better, Pat's or Geno's? And I'm like, you know what? I've been to Philly a million times. I've had Pat's and Geno's, but the bread's not that good. For me, I've gone to V&S and that was a sandwich shop I used to go to in Reading, Pennsylvania. That was awesome, and the fucking bread. The bread, Chapman's Deli in Reading, Pennsylvania. Fantastic. It's the freaking bread. And we used to, back home, we had a place that was A&M Pizza. Their bread was, I think they used to use their freaking crust that they use for their pizzas, which is fantastic. But you give me a California cheese or a California cheesesteak, which is basically cheesesteak, right? With I used to get it with peppers, onions, and mushrooms. And then what they do is it's a pizza sub. They put on mayo, lettuce, and tomatoes on top, oil and vinegar, so you get the cold and the hot. On that bread, that makes a world of difference. Is bread on a sandwich?
Yeah.
Or bread with a sandwich. You can. I don't care, man. See, Jennifer likes going to Jimmy John's. I don't like Jimmy John's rolls. I do not like them.
Yeah.
They're not good. I'll eat, Firehouse, or I'll even have Jersey Mike's. Yeah, I think their breads are pretty good. But whenever she gets something from Jimmy John's, I always get their sandwich on their regular bread because their rolls are terrible. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, Coop, he does his sandwich reviews all the time, and he'll say the same thing. Good bread will make a regular sandwich an extraordinary sandwich. You
100%.
gotta have that bread.
Yeah, I mean, you can have decent meats and you can have whatever and add it in all you do, but if it's put on really, really, really good bread, you'll think that sandwich is the best thing, just because that bread sets it to a whole new level. And what's funny is some breads, like this bread that Jennifer brought home from the Polish folks, she made a sandwich for me the other day. And I said, not a good bread for sandwiches.
Just because it's good bread.
It's a good bread to cut, toast. You put some butter on it, eat it. Not a very thick and dense bread.
Yeah.
So if you're going to cut a big piece of bread, it's going to be about that thick. It's going to be a sandwich. It's got to be airy for me. That was just too thick, too heavy. And I ended up taking off the top piece and eating it almost like an open face because it was just too much. I said, it's just too much, too heavy, too dense for me.
Yeah, I agree. I like that nice, airy, light bread that still has its structure to it, that can hold in the condiments and everything else, but it's not, I love pub subs, but Publix bread, I got to be in the mood for that dense, like thicker bread.
It's too much. It takes away from the sandwich. I think at that point, I mean, the star is no longer the sandwich itself. It's you're trying to muscle through a very thick bread. So that bread, I'm like, you know what? It may, I think it would make a good. I made a breakfast. I made a open face breakfast sandwich for the other day.
A good thick bread like that on an open face.
Yeah.
Either a breakfast sandwich or an open face turkey. Yeah. Or ham.
I put on. I and she didn't eat it. I ended up eating it, but I did Taylor ham, and then I put a over easy egg on top. I was like, that's perfect. That's what that bread's for. You toast
or a thick bread like that makes a great French toast bread.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say. That's the other thing I said to her. She's like, I don't think it'd be a good toast, a French toast. I'm like,
no,
a fantastic French toast bread for that reason. It's thicker. It's going to absorb everything. It's going to have more flavor to it, and it's going to be very filling. And it'll make a good French toast.
It'll make a good crusty French toast. A lot of people think French toast needs to be soggy, and I'm not a fan of soggy French toast. When you have a good bread that gets a good crust on it, and you take your fork and you hear that crunch that as you go through, that's a good French toast right there.
Oh yeah, 100%. But yeah, that was our experience with food. Like I said, I have my lunch set tomorrow. It's the leftover Thai food she made, and I think it's going to get even better sitting overnight.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good Lord! I'm freaking hungry again, Kevin. What the hell?
Well, on that note, it's been a 2 hours of we've talked about just about everything tonight. Hopefully, I know next week we got the national sales manager from Races Cubana on. So maybe, hopefully, the week after that, or I think the week after that, we have the Ashes to Africa.
I think so. Yeah.
So maybe we'll get one more in this year with Art. If not, we'll push. We'll try and get Art. Let Art know. Like I said, we'll get a show in if he's got a date. Even if it's not a Monday night. Let Art know. We'll squeeze one in. Let's get him on. one more time for the year. And I know we got a few people that want to be on next year with us. We got Antu Maharukian from Espanola, or the JM Tobacco. He just sent me a few of his cigars to try out. He sent me these for me and Jessica to try. He'll be debuting at PCA 2026. So we got we're some of the first people in the world. Actually, I think we might be the first people in the world that have this new cigar outside of this company. So
really?
I know he wants to come on and talk about those. So we got some people that want to come on next year. So I think next year we're going to get back into the I Tap That Cigar show a little bit more frequently.
Mm-hmm.
As much fun as I've loved doing this, the puff and ponder, and this is definitely not going away at all. I think we're going to try and really focus on getting that one show a month.
Yeah.
You know, I Tap That, because we got so many people that want to come on, and I've just had a blast this year just doing this.
Well, I think we steered away from doing that show, and even kind of drifted away from doing the monthly show. And I think without having that, you know, that as you said, there is people who want to be on the show, because I think this puff and ponder format has gone over really well. And I think
gone,
come in and not only talk about their cigars, but I think they want to be part of this stupid conversation that we have.
Yeah, exactly. And our numbers are the same, if not better, for some shows. You know, people just they seem to really dig this. So can't wait to see what the new year has in store. So can't wait. All right, but we'll see everybody back this coming up Monday night with I forget his name offhand, from Racy's Cubana. We're going to be talking a little bit about the cigars, but it's just going to be another we'll talk about whatever it is that's going on.
Sounds good, man.
So, all right, and make sure you're following. Oh, what is it? What happened here? My screen. Make sure you're following Kerr, Viajante, Stogie Road Cigars social media, Cigar Prop on the social medias. Links are in the video description, podcast description. I've got some great giveaways coming up from Cigar Oasis. Is sending me some of their brand new stuff that's coming out, and I'm not keeping any of it. I'm giving it all away. So super stoked about those. So make sure you're following on the socials and get in on those giveaways. So all right, we'll see everybody next week.